I'm jumping into the McLaren MP412C at Spa with the Oculus Rift DK2 to do a little bit of casual driving. Now, normally when I do these sort of videos, or videos in general, it's looking at mod content, new tracks, new cars, but this time I'm just going to do some nice reclined driving for a change and video it and have a little bit of a natter. Now, first thing is, what I've done is I'm using voice attack to recenter the camera, which allows me to be sat a quarter of a mile away from my keyboard and still be able to center the view. It looks like the server's just going to reset now, so we'll see what happens. There we go, it's reset to a new session. That's nice and handy, good timing. This is an online server, so I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, with voice attack, you can just say your command. The camera actually seems to be in the right position, but let's give it a go anyway. Computer, center camera. There you go, it centered the camera. So if you actually want to be sat in a proper driving position, in most of my videos where I'm sort of doing previews of mod content, I'm sat upright because I'm fiddling around with the computer. But when I'm actually driving more seriously or more for my own pleasure and leisure, I tend to be sat more reclined. It's a far better way to drive, having your arms a little bit out, a little bit of bend on your elbows. It's just a more comfortable way to drive and an easier way to catch cars when they snap out. Look at the wing mirror. I never noticed that. It's got a really nice curvature to the armature that attaches it to the car. Now, I've not driven this McLaren MP412C on Spa, and I've not really spent that much time on this track itself since it came out for Assetto Corsa. So this should be interesting to learn the car with this track. Don't even know where the brake points are, so probably just look for the brown patches on the road. That's actually that's a good tip number one on many driving simulators. This is also the case for Race Room, a lot of tracks, and R-Factor 2, where R-Factor 2 has its real road. If you don't know a track and you're not racing with other people and you want a good idea of where the brake start point is, you'll often see that the track texture has a darker patch where people have obviously locked on the brakes or started putting on the brakes. It should be a little bit darker bit on the tarmac. You can look out for that, and a lot of the time, depending on the quality of the track, that will be a generally good starting point to then home in where your brake points are. For guys, you see it here, there's the brake point there. And I think you brake a tiny bit later. With this Assetto Corsa, what's really nice is you can generally feel the limit of the car through the force feedback. It's one of the reasons I keep coming back to AC. But you basically look for the brake point, and then when you hit the brakes, you can feel if the car's on that limit, and then you can work out if you need to brake later or sooner, basically from the force feedback. These are sweeping corners. I think you can take them at full speed in this car. We'll soon find out. It might be taking a journey to the hospital. Oh, these would feel fantastic in a real car. The G-forces would be really nice. Annoying after a good number of laps, but really nice initially. Not sure how much you can push through those corners. This McLaren, as I say, it sort of has a really central pivot to it in AC, and when you're on the limit, if you come off the gas on certain corners, or you're just really balancing the car on the edge. Where's he going? I've gone the left. You often find that the car it could just lose it and wobble around. That was nice when he pulled over for me. Coming off the throttle there, it's got grip. As long as you've got grip with this and you can feel the force feedback, you're alright. But there's this limit with this McLaren that's really, if I was driving this in real life, I wouldn't drive this car in real life. It'd just scare the crap out of me. The other GT cars, why are you nudging me? That's alright. The other GT cars in AC are a lot more oh, there we go. Oh, too much. So that's where it gets tricky. Trying to carry the maximum speed through corners like that. Oh, dude. This is just the default setup though. It seems fairly balanced. The car seems to be able to handle all the rest of the car. Apart from that corner up that hill, it seems fairly balanced for them, and the engine, the revs seem to be lining up. sort of gearbox ratio. Seems about right. As soon as you start sliding though, absolute nightmare. You should let this guy go in front. There you go. Get to look at his sexy car. I know he wants me to go in front, or he's just making a dog's dinner of it. Okay. This feels really nice, and the track looks absolutely fantastic. As I said in one of my previous videos, one of the things I've done is set the colour to be 90% instead of 100%, and I find that makes the tracks look far more neutral and just, to me, more believable. And this looks really, really nice. I haven't put the track details on full whilst recording with the DK2. I need to turn the detail down to one below the high setting. But even with that, it looks absolutely stunning on the DK2, and this is just midday. It's not in the evening and benefiting from that evening sunlight. But it looks amazing. The McLaren MP4 seems really stable on accelerating out of corners. Let's accelerate a bit faster out of here. Yeah, it doesn't seem to have enough torque with the default setup to push it out. That could also be traction control, so let's turn that on. Oh, well. Computer, center cam. Computer, center cam. I'm not sure if the traction control works, the settings work with the DK2 plugged in. You can't see them on the screen, unfortunately. But that's something you can set it to be off by default, so I'll do that next time I go in the menu. But it'd be interesting with the traction control off if that will allow for the back end to step out more, but it's probably more just a setup issue. That was a little bit better than last lap, but not the fastest way to take that. Don't really want to be hooking the wheel on the inside of that corner. But slowly and surely we'll massage away the time from each lap, and I find it generally takes me about 3 hours to get comfortable with a track to a basic level, and then about 7 hours to get up to pace because I'm a really, really slow learner. And I just find it takes me ages to get to the point where I'm hitting brake points or being on the limit of the car without having to think about it at all, and sort of just driving, and then allowing me to drive more intuitively. But I guess if you think your average race length in a GT car is going to be at least 25-30 minutes, that's probably about 6 races worth of driving, 7 races worth of driving to get a basic level with the tracks. Let's power on through. I love the little sort of tyre marks on the road. Let's make it a bit later here. There's a lot of camber on these corners. It makes it a bit tricky to work out where the ideal racing line is through there. The little texture details, these little skid marks and scuffs and stuff on the road are really nice. And I've noticed that with this track, that some of the other tracks in AC don't have that much texture detail to the actual road surface, which makes them, you get less of a sense of speed from that. But when you do have all these little, you know, skid marks and stuff and little details on the tarmac itself, it gives you a far better sense of speed, because there's obviously whizzing right underneath you, whereas the trackside stuff's quite far away, so it doesn't move past you that fast. But these road details sort of come at you at lightning pace. It's really good for helping you feel how much speed you're scrubbing off when you hit the brake zone. So it's really nice of Kunos to put more attention into that. It's going to be fascinating to see what the new Nord is like, especially with all its graffiti on the floor and just what sort of details they put into it. Took that not first corner, but the corner I was struggling with a bit better there. Could still carry way more speed through that. And these, we're nowhere near on the limit. This is what, lap 4 now? And this is the other thing, actually. I won't change the car setup. I mean, it's different. Everyone has their own way of doing things, but unless there's a really glaringly obvious issue with a car setup, I like to just drive things out of the box, get within a couple of seconds of pace, and then start fiddling with the car setup. Because the thing is, until you're hitting breakpoints precisely and able to do lap on lap only a couple hundredths difference, there's no point in you making car setup changes, because you're not going to be at a level of competence with the car on the track to actually know if that setup is really, fixing things for you, or doing the right thing, or gaining you or losing you the time, because you'll be losing time from your basic driving rather than the setup. Now, as I say, obviously you do get some cars where they fundamentally need a setup change out of the box, and you can just tell. But with cars that are balanced is what I'm talking about. With this little window, it's a bit weird how the start-finish line. Well, it's not even the start-finish line. I think is that when motorbikes start, if they do motorbike races. But that banner that goes across the track over there, it looks like the font is Comic Sans. It just looks really cheap and tacky. But I mean, I think that's what the real sign looks like. I guess motorsports don't care about fonts. Oh, that was a lot better. If we take it a bit smoother. This car actually sounds pretty good as well. A lot of some of the cars in AC sound a little bit rough, unless you've got a really good hi-fi, and even then I think they just sound a bit. They just don't have the grunt behind them. But this has a nice little whine to it. Has enough tone, and the tone responds to what you're doing with the accelerator to know when to change gear, which I think is the main thing. I was sliding, understeering a bit there. Oh, what a hash. Well, this is going to be the last lap, because apparently I'm getting slower. But I'm sure this is absolutely thrilling to watch. More of a little casual drive with the Oculus Rift DK2 and the McLaren MP412C. Oh no. That's another thing that I think happens when you're learning a track. You really do have to just keep trying a bunch of things out. And the advantage of that is not only, you won't always be getting the fastest lap or improving your lap on lap, but you will make mistakes, the kind of mistakes that you probably make during a race, or you'll get the kind of situations you have to recover it from that might happen in a race context. You also learn situations that can occur from taking a corner wrong, so that if it does happen again, you know how to respond to it without having to really think on your toes so much. You brake so much later for that, and carry so much more speed through it. But that is Comic Sans. That is Spa in Assetto Corsa with the DK2, with the McLaren MP412C. Oh, my hand's I'll get off the track. My hand oh, there we go. just stroking the side there. Just give it a little bit of a stroke. Just rub my knee, put my hand through my knee. McLaren MP412C in Assetto Corsa with the Oculus Rift DK2 online. Unfortunately, this server seems to be set in qualifying, never-ending qualifying. Only has a couple of people in it, but it's a nice little chilled out drive. But thanks for watching this. I'll hopefully this will upload at 60 FPS 1080p and be nice and smooth. Let me know what you'd like to see in future videos. Next time I do one of these, hopefully it'll be in a race rather than just pootling around. Look at the view, looks really nice. It's just really, using the DK2 with these simulators, it's just really relaxing and nice, and just really places you in these virtual worlds. And I think especially with a laser scan, it's just got all the subtleties, like the spacing of everything is right, the little undulations are right. But that's a really nice view. Just come in here, have a cup of tea. Don't even need to drive, you can just sit here, have a cup of tea with your DK2 and enjoy the view. You just need a nice partner sat next to you. Hopefully not getting electrocuted by all the electronics there, but time to end this video. Thanks for watching it. I hope you enjoyed it. Meandering tour. If you did, leave a comment if you want to see more of this kind of nonsense talking. Subscribe, like, follow us on Facebook. Goodbye.